Hello. I'm back and I'm doing a new experiment. Just this is really for me kind of learning how to switch between different windows for recording. So I haven't done anything with like a web browser or anything. I'm trying to figure out, what's the easy way to switch back and forth. So as you can see in the background right now, I've got the RSI website up. You can see all the cool stuff there. Um, if we look through here, get all the basics. Never really come on here. Um, but a lot of people are more tuned in to what's actually going on. I get a lot of my info from other YouTube videos instead of reading myself, so it's kind of hearsay. I don't think they're probably lying, but I don't, it's not first person, so I'm trying to be better about reading like Frontier Tensions. What's going on? All right. Alpha 4.9. We got a cool shot of the Basher here. Looks like they're maybe in the Nix system. There's tension in the Frontier. Life outside the UEE is hard won. Now an elusive group known as the Moraine is threatening the fragile stability of the people of Nix. People's Alliance requires your help. Scout safe locations. Oh, this is kind of cool. Talking about the different crosshairs. I knew that they updated these, but again, I had only heard that on YouTube channels, so now I'm kind of learning that myself. I don't claim to be an expert influencer, so I'm just kind of, this is more journaling. If you're along with for the ride, if you're watching these videos, you're really following my journaling of my process more than anything. It's not a how-to video or a I know everything video. Maybe a little bit of opinion mixed in, but I also acknowledge that my opinion is based on limited knowledge. So, yeah, this is cool. So you got your crosshair. If you don't have damage, you get that. Shield hit. Shield penetrate. Okay. I'm not gonna remember most of this. Basically, what I'm gonna remember from this is the more marks, the better, and red better than blue. Um, Fly by sound. Yeah, so I know it's a limited number of ships, enhanced sound effects, and I would really love to crank the sound and get a buddy or something and stand on a planet, get some sound clips. That would be really cool. Distribution center. I had never used those. I don't know much about them. Frontier tensions. We got patch notes. Got some war bonds. Don't know much about the Hermes. The mole, I think, is a minor. Kind of show some stuff that they got available. That's about it. Let's go. Let's take a peek at the patch notes and see what we got here. Click. Thank you. All right. 4.9 live came out on the 15th. 4.9 has been released into the live entertainment. Your launcher should display version 4.9.0. Citizens always imprint their ship loadouts before adventuring into the verse. Reminder, citizens always imprint their ship loadouts before adventuring into the verse. So I don't know what that means. That's saying to ensure your loadout if you've got components. I don't know. Build information. Let's see. Long-term persistence. LTP is preserved. Okay, so that must be some of the stuff we had in game. Starting AUEC was 20,000. I was not. I was at 5,000 or 6,000. I did not start at 20,000 when I updated 4.9, which is fine. Launcher, feedback, spectrum, report a bug. Features and gameplay. All right, let's take a look at this. Gameplay. Support the miners mission pack ordnance framing Freight elevator kiosk updates. Okay. I'm not probably going to read through everything, but we know that they updated hit markers, weapon rebalance. Okay. I can tell you after my last video flying the, I almost said Chiv, flying the Basher, that, I don't know I don't know what size weapons those are, but it's a lot of firepower and it's fast. Those come out so fast. Character AI, new player hairstyles. Okay, that's cool. Weapon items. So we got the bullpup. Yep, yep. Okay. Core tech audio experience VR updates. So real quick regarding VR, I have a Pimax Crystal Super, which I love when it works. Um, Nothing wrong with the Pimax or their software or anything. I fly sometimes on Microsoft Flight Sim, and it is remarkably beautiful. Works great, no issues. I was able, back when Steam VR was a thing, I was able to use it a couple times on Star Citizen, and it was I had to knock down frame rates, I had to do all these settings, and it was so complicated, I just got frustrated. So I have not been back to try it on Star Citizen, which I would like to do. I have a feeling that my 64 gigs of RAM, my upgrade, may help make a difference, hopefully. Also, I know that they quit using VR. Also, I noticed there's a little thing to click on VR in an options menu or something that I had never seen, so maybe I wasn't doing it right. I don't know. But I'm going to be exploring that. Maybe I'll do that later today. Um, Experimental VR, abandoned vehicle cleanup. Let's just see what that is here. Flyby audio. Okay, okay. Added update cleanup code for abandoned ships around locations. This is a new code, adds ship cleanup rules that will clean up ships in an abandoned state after 5 hours to better reduce ship clutter around high. Okay. Okay, so basically what they're saying is when there's a pile of ships at, like, let's say Grimhex, and everyone just leaves their shit, it's eventually they're gonna despawn if they're abandoned. I, I mean, I kind of got mixed feelings with that. I like that they say that it affects major landing zones and space stations. That is important. If it's like out in the middle of nowhere, like the middle of nowhere in Daymar, and there's parts sitting in the desert, that I think is cool and they should leave. I understand that takes a lot of memory, I believe, to hold all that, but you know, as long as it is persistent for a while, I mean, that's what's so beautiful about the persistent universe, persistence. So I think it's neat that you can, go out in the middle of nowhere and find remnants of a ship that could have been sitting there for who knows how long. And you think like, oh, there's gonna be space junk everywhere. Well, not if you've got salvagers that are, cleaning stuff up. But yeah, around the bases, the major landing zones, space stations, that makes sense. Because man, I've flown into some of those places and like they ain't no parking spot. So that's not good. Tech upgrades. Okay. ASOP terminal code to help ships that are currently spawning in transit to a pad to now correctly surpass the claim button, preventing a false claimable state during delivery. Further update have also, that's not proper English, further updates or further update has, further update have also been done to make it so the terminal can now correctly query vehicles stored in hangar inventory. Yeah, okay, so I don't understand completely what that means, but I do know that I've had some issues with ships not storing properly, with ships spawning on top of ships, with stuff needing to be claimed when I stored it, and all that kind of stuff. So that sounds good. Good job, guys. Bug fixes. Okay, I'm not reading that. They did a bunch of that, and they did a bunch of that. Cool. I mean, that's kind of neat. Let's go into the shop and see what they got going on here. We got a starter pack. Now, interestingly, a lot of times these starter packs, specifically the war bonds, have a lifetime insurance on them. but I did notice that there's getting to be fewer and fewer. That is a really cool paint. What is that? Open, please. Thank you. This guy. That is sick. Blue Blossom, Nightmare, and Razor Burn. Okay, so I gotta believe that's Blue Blossom. Don't cycle through. That's Nightmare. Okay, that's Blue Blossom. That's Nightmare. That's Razor Burn. Okay, that's that's really pretty. I like that. I actually said in my previous video that I wouldn't add paint, but I actually like that. $14 for all of them. I mean, how bad do you gotta have it? I don't know. So yeah, let's go, for example, into this basher. It's a war bond, and that does have lifetime insurance, but that's also a $100 ship. So, you know, uh, it seems like standalone ships. It seems like low to high. I'm always kind of doing this and saying, are there LTI tokens hiding in here? One time I bought 15 pulses for $25 a piece, I believe. So you never know, $15. No, I don't believe they got LTI on a $15 pledge, no. But you don't know until you try, right? You gotta look through this. There's nothing that says here's where the LTI is. Aurora, 6 months. Kind of just, looking through this stuff to see every now and then it pops around here and pops around there. Most recently was a UTV with lifetime. Now it's at 6 months. And that's getting a little expensive for a LTI token. And again, people still, talk about LTI and the relevance and is it necessary? Listen, to each their own. Believe what you want to believe. We don't really know much. It's constantly changing. They can do anything they want. I personally, as a quality completionist, I like to collect. I'm not just video gaming. I am collecting, and I have no problem spending the money on quality stuff. I buy LTI because it exists. Because of all the numbers of insurance, LTI is the top, and so that's why I want it because it's the best. No other reason. Do I think it's going to make a massive difference in the future? I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Um, let's go. Speaking of LTI, take a look at my ships. This is a website that I have never used until very recently. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of it, and my buddy just showed it to me. So these are all my current ships. And you can see that every single one of them is LTI. I only have LTI ships. The 100, great little runabout. I like it because it's small. You can bed log in it. It fits in other ships. The 300i is and likely always will be my favorite ship. Period. End of discussion. She's just, it is the most amazing design. It's a perfect size. To me, that ship is the epitome of personal spacecraft of the future. It's just sexy as hell too. I'm a big Origin fan, so I got some Origins. I don't fly the 400 often, but I do have a 400. I absolutely love the 600. That's my favorite bigger ship. The 85, that's my runabout. That's my little roadster. Go pick up a buddy. It fits in the clad, which if you've watched my videos, you know. The Mark II I bought just because it was new, and I despise the Aurora Mark One. It's ugly to me. How do the wings not come out? It's like they meant to and then said fuck it. and now they got it right with the Mark II. The only problem is I don't I wouldn't call it a Aurora. I have a previous video I said I would call it a wasp. It looks like a wasp to me coming at me trying to sting me. But it's cool. I like it. Do I ever fly it? No. C1 Spirit, dude. That is. I would say the Spirit is like it's like the minivan of spaceships. Can you put a four-wheeler inside of a minivan? No, you cannot. You cannot put a Cyclone or an Ursa inside the Spirit. Um, If you wanted a four-wheeler, then you would have some sort of toy hauler or a large truck with a ramp or something. So that's why the Cyclone goes in things like the MSR and the 600 and the Clad. The Spirit is just it's a minivan. It's got a lot of space, got a lot of stuff. You can do a lot with it. I like that you can like run straight in. I like that it's low to the ground. Plus, it's a hot ship. I also really like the squared off nose. To me, that says kind of like 70s Star Wars kind of theme, which Crusader kind of do that. The Cyclones, I don't know why they're separated, but anyway, I do have two LTI Cyclones. I like to have two Cyclones. I know this sounds crazy. I'm very privileged. Uh, I like to have two Cyclones, like in the Clad, so that if I'm driving out, if I'm doing something, or if I want to run away, I can abandon one. I don't give a shit, and I gotta back up. It's just, I love the Cyclone so much that I like having a backup with me. Nothing more. G12, we'll have a discussion in a minute about concept stuff. I love the look of the G12. Do I think it's going to be really practical with those wheels? Am I going to use it? No, I don't. I think it's something that it's kind of like a neat to have. Um, Maybe someday if we've actually got some form of roads in town. I mean, we don't have roads in town. Think about that. There are no roads. So what is the purpose of having a road vehicle? What's the purpose of having anything but off-road tires when there are no roads? I don't know. The Genesis. Very, very excited about the Genesis. I know that we have no idea when it's coming. Can you click on these? Oh, you can. Oh, it doesn't really tell you much. It just shows you kind of what it's worth and stuff. Um, yeah, so the Genesis, I think I'm excited for that gameplay. I think it's going to be a long time before you're going to have a much larger universe, and you're going to have the cost of transporting your body much higher and the value of work much lower. It's going to have to be worth it for someone to pay you to get on a ship to be brought somewhere and dropped off. We are nowhere near that, in my opinion. There's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't fly your own ship. There has been talk about, do you need a ship? I mean, if you wanted to play Sims, so to speak, in Star Citizen, in order to get into this game, you have to pledge something, right? Usually a ship. So everybody's got one. But realistically, if once they get their shit together and it all comes together, and I know they are, um, you wouldn't need a ship. I mean, the cost might get so high that flying the Clad around or a Polaris, my hope is that the cost, what you can make and what things cost. Right now, you can make way too much money and everything costs way too little. We need you to make less money. We need the cost to come up. That will bring value to this stuff. Um, I want it to cost so much for someone to fly a big ship that unless they're with an org, um, or they're saving up, like you can't just operate a Clad like it's your Corvette. Um, I just think the stuff needs to cost more and we need to make less money. And that's coming. Hey, we're in alpha, right? It's an experiment. So moving on, where were we? The Genesis, the hover quad. I do not like hover vehicles. I don't like bikes. I have several. I don't like them. I think that is the fastest way you can possibly die in the verse is to get on a vehicle that hovers. And I'm a careful driver. Uh, I mean, I'm on Daymar a lot. There's rocks, there's shit everywhere. Unless you're out on the ice in New Babbage, I've said this before. Unless you're out on the ice in New Babbage, I got no interest in a hover vehicle. I got that one because I wanted my buddy Justin to try it out. 'Cause it's like a snowmobile. It's like a four wheeler. Whatever, doesn't matter. The Clad, we all know about the Clad. My Clad's got 15 vehicles in it right now. Pretty much all of these that can fit in the Clad are in the Clad right now. I hate it. I hate Drake ships. I don't like it's ugly. It doesn't fly good. But, that's not a negative. That's just an honest review. It's not my cup of tea, but it's functional. It's utility. It does its job. Its job is to be a floating base that I can move wherever I want, that my ships can all fit inside. It serves that purpose and it does it well. So, what I would like to do is to position the Clad as a remote base and not be flying it around. I would love if it cost so much that I didn't want to fly it around and that I just left it somewhere and it was kind of my little cabin to go to. The problem is, of course, I have to log out in it. So that means I got to take like the 85 or the 100 to go do my errands and my running and stuff, and then I can go fly the 600, but then when I want to go back to the Clad to bedlog, I got to switch back to a ship that fits back in the Clad. That's a pain in the ass. I hate that, but it's what it is right now. The Wolf, I bought it. It was a novelty. It's cool. I don't mind it. It's a really cool looking ship. It's kind of my hangar queen. It just sits in the hangar usually. I actually have that in the Clad as well. The Lynx, I would like to use more. I would like to get in the Lynx, and um, I would like to take the Lynx and stock it up with crews, and I would like to have snipers and a lot of ammo, and I would like to go driving around and looking for space buffalo and do like luxury big game hunting. I think that'd be cool to just get in there and be like, all right, you guys just sit back. This is a charter trip. You just sit back and sip on your cruise. I'm gonna be driving you out. We're gonna find some buffalo. You guys just get out. All you gotta do is pull out the sniper, pull the trigger. We're gonna skin that right here for you, like Red Dead style. I'm gonna throw it on the back of the horse. Okay, so Lynx I don't drive too often. The M80 I do not like. There, I said it. It's okay. I hate that it's Origin. It's an okay ship. Not my cup of tea. I absolutely hate that the entire floor becomes the steps. It gives me some sort of anxiety. I don't like standing on something that I feel is unstable. I just I just don't like it. It's got way too many colors inside for an Origin ship. It's like a fucking disco in there. It's a fine ship. Just make it a Kruger. It's not an Origin. You know, they really. It's a disservice to Origin that they made that look like that. But whatever. Mercury, fucking love the MSR. It's got so much character. I named mine the Quantanium Falcon, which I thought was very clever. Obviously, it's a throwback to the Millennium Falcon, and we burn Quantanium, so I came up with Quantanium Falcon. I like it. I'll keep that. That's a novelty. That's just cool as fuck, and I'm always gonna have it. I also like the original paint. I really like the white and black and red. I thought I bought a paint for it, but it doesn't matter. I like it the way it is. The Nox and the Pulse, the only reason I have those is because they're hanger queens too, because I got the Star Kitten paint, which I just like colorful things, and I like to put them on the clad or in my hanger just as decoration. I don't ride the damn things. In fact, when I put them on my clad, I almost died earlier. Ursa Medevac, a must-have. Yep, the Pisces is cool. Yep, the Apollo is cool, but the Ursa Medevac to be able to have a ground vehicle. You can approach a base if you're doing missions or something and have it just out of range, and you can respawn in it. Um, you know, it's just such a versatile vehicle. Obviously, yep, you can't go flying around in it. You got guns on it. You can respawn. You got the med bed. I mean, to me, the Ursa medevac and a ship that holds it is a must-have. Period. Obviously, if you've got something like a Polaris or an Apollo, you got all your med beds. You don't need it. Um, but it's just its versatility to me. I think it's great. The UTV, I got two of them. I bought them as LTI tokens, just for future upgrade. The X1s, I got two of them, LTI. I like them. I don't know. Can't drive both at the same time, but so something that a buddy of mine suggested. He said you can always buy the Genesis and the G12 again. He said you don't drive the hover quad, you don't drive the Aurora. You know, he said you don't really care about the Wolf that much. You don't like the M80. What he suggested is that if I melt all of these down, then when the opportunity arises again to upgrade to a Polaris, I would have the in-store credit to upgrade something LTI to an LTI Polaris. Am I going to fly a Polaris around all day? No, I'm not. Would I like to own one? Yes, I would. Um, I could just buy one outright. I'm choosing not to do that. The thing that rubs me kind of the wrong way is just that I've collected LTI, and once the LTI is gone, it's gone. It would still mean that my whole fleet is still LTI, and I would have the in-store credit. And when I upgrade my whatever to a Polaris, it's going to be LTI. So what it does, the only thing that it does is it knocks down the number of LTI ships that I own. Is that a status symbol? No, it's not really that big of a deal. But what do I got? I got 5, 10, 15, 20, 22, 24. I've gifted probably 5 LTI ships I've gifted to my fiance's account as well as my buddy's account. So I've given some away. I'm a pretty generous person. I've gifted my buddy his entire account with like $500 worth of shit, probably even more now. I created an account for my fiance. She has a custom Best in Show 600 and a couple other things. She does not play. It's just my secondary account that sits idle. I've also gifted an account to my nephew. It took him forever to get a PC that could even play Star Citizen. He finally did. I knew money was tight for him, so I got him a starter ship. I think I got him a Pisces, or I don't know what I got him, but I do like to give stuff away, and I've actually considered doing ship giveaways on this channel. If anybody, if the channel got busy enough, if I had enough views and likes and comments and stuff, I would probably start giving away ships. But I personally don't think anybody gives a shit about my channel right now. So I'm not going to invest the money, but I would love to give back to the community. I just need a community first. So if that's something you're interested in, comment. Uh, Now, do I care about comments and likes and all that stuff from a YouTube standpoint? No, I don't. Um, but if I'm going to give something away, I got to have more than like 8 people to give it to, right? So anyway, that's my ships. And that is also, if you go into here, I am sitting on 1 million UEC. I've never used REC, and I got 107 store credit, which uh, could be a lot more if I melt that shit down. But a million UEC, another discussion point. Does it make any sense to buy UEC now? Some say no fucking way. Some say eh. Some say hell yeah. One would hope that it's going to be worth equivalent or better when 1.0 comes out. I have to believe it's going to make a difference. Now, I can tell you after the last wipe, I started with 1 million A UEC because you start with however much UEC you have. Um, and 1 million actually goes fairly fast. It's not like real life. Uh, yeah, it went pretty fast buying stuff in games. So I don't really care. I just thought it was a cool benchmark. It's more of a goal because, as some of you know, you can only buy uh, what is it, 25? You can only buy 25,000 of UEC. Well, maybe it changed, but last time I checked, you can only buy like 25,000 per day. So that is 40 different daily transactions to get $1 million, a million UEC, I should say. But anyway, yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to end this video, kind of diving in. I might do some more kind of looking into, um, watching some of the videos that Star Citizen puts out. I might do some more content like that. We'll see. But in the meantime, I'm going to dive in, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might take the clad out somewhere. Not sure. I don't know. But either way, I will see you again shortly. See ya.